Welcome to Fortune Cookies Tarot. This is Royal Thursday, where we take a look at royals. Some Thursdays we look at scandals, but today we are going to be looking at Princess Beatrice of the United Kingdom. She just recently had her second baby. She is the mother of three. She has a stepson with her current husband. And we're going to take a look at what is going on with her and what her year is going to be like. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Tarot fam. So today we're going to be talking about Princess Beatrice. She is the son of the Duke and Duchess of York, Prince Andrew, and Sarah Ferguson. She is the sister of Eugenie. She's the older sister, and she's the cousin of the Prince of Wales and the Duke of Sussex. So I think you know all of the players here if you've been watching my channel for any length of time. So we're going to take a look at how she's doing. She just had her second natural born child. She was a little bit early. Her name is Athena. She was 4 pounds, 4 ounces, I believe they said. So she was a bit early. Having had my first child about 6 weeks early, weighing in at 4 pounds, 14 ounces, I totally understand how disconcerting that can be and how scary it is to have a baby that's that small. And just like Beatrice, the doctors had told me, don't think of her as premature. Think of her as just small. She's otherwise perfect. So they take into consideration those APGAR scores and all the other testing that they put into them. But in this reading, I really do want to see how her year is going to play out. There's been a lot of speculation about her sister Eugenie and the allegiances she may or may not have with the Sussexes, and if she may or may not be leaking information to them or passing information back and forth. Beatrice does seem to kind of be on the side of all of this and not really in the kerfuffle in the fray. I do love one of the things that she has done in her adult life, and that was wearing a modified dress for her wedding. It was her grandmother's dress, the late Queen Elizabeth II, and it was absolutely stunning on her. It was really a beautiful rewear of a gorgeous garment. She also had a very pared down wedding. It was during the pandemic. So kudos to her for having a gorgeous wedding in the middle of a not so gorgeous time period of our world. So let's take a look at a few things on Princess Beatrice. First of all, I want to get like personal message for her for this year, for 2025, how life with 3 kids is going. She's got 2 of her own, and she has a stepson as well. Just in general, how her 2025 is going to go all around. And I also want to see if she is going to have a life as a working royal or if she's going to maintain non-working royal status. That is something that's up for grabs. She is very showy. She is a redhead. She would be someone that individuals would spot, recognize, and possibly, connect with. So people in the subjects of the United Kingdom. We're also going to look at her loyalty to the king and also to the Prince and Princess of Wales, because that is something that we should take a look at. And then we're going to look at her future and do a happy yellow brick road to life fulfillment over the next year or so. So we all know that when you have changes in your life, whether it's a marriage, a divorce, a death, a birth, anything like that, it can take some time to adjust. And so if we do have any indication of where we can find our optimal happiness, that's always a good thing. And so that brings me to you guys. I have lots of sales going on for the month of February, anything from a fast and dirty email, text message, WhatsApp reading for you at a bargain basement price, all the way up to 2 hours spending with me where we go through your whole life story and your whole year and we kind of map everything out. So I made sure that I had a price point for everybody in the month of February. These sales may stay, they may go. I think they are limited time only though. So book your readings in before the end of the month. I also am in competition season with my son. So I will have some time that is carved out that I will not be available. So I'll probably lose about a day or day and a half every week to do private readings. So space may be limited, but I will try and accommodate everyone as needed. If you are on the other side of the planet and my schedule does not quite mesh with yours, just send me an email at fortunecookiestarot@gmail.com and I'll be sure to coordinate with you and find a time that's going to work for you. So you don't have to get up at the crack of dawn or stay up until the middle of the night. I have lots of clients over in New Zealand and Australia. Love you guys. You guys are fantastic. More than happy to coordinate scheduling for you. So with that, let's bring up the card view. Please like, share, and subscribe. We've had great subscriber growth and we want to keep that going. So what is the overall message for Princess Beatrice for 2025? What does the universe want her to know? 4 of Swords, 8 of Swords, and the Page of Swords in reverse. So this is a good time for her to really take a rest. No one is busy like a mother, especially a mother of 3. But this is a time to not worry about what's next. Just sit back, kind of relax as much as you can with little kids running around and a tiny brand new baby who's screaming for dinner. It takes some time to adjust to this new lifestyle, to this new experience in your life. You have leveled up to a different role, and it is really important to just adjust to that. The 8 of Swords, throw all of the important stuff out. Don't worry about it. It's going to be there. It's not like you're chasing your electric bill right now. So let the other non-important stuff slide. And there is no reason to pare down your communications. You can put on your out of office message for your email and say, hey, I'm out of office. I'm recovering. I'm going to be, taking care of baby, whatnot. You can do that. It's totally fine. So make sure that you do, because we can get exhausted. And I've talked about this before. In Korea, they have these amazing facilities where brand new moms will go and they will recover from the delivery physically, emotionally, and psychically. They will, and spiritually, you can say spiritually. They will be fed great food. They have help with nursing. They have help with baby care. And they're really a tremendous aid to the women that are there. It helps them ease into pregnancy. And it also helps them bond with babies that are born later in their family if they have multiple children. Really, really cool concept. I wish that somebody would do that here in the United States. So let's see. How is life with 3 kids for Beatrice? It's a lot of kids. Queen of Cups. 10 of Swords, and the High Priestess in reverse. So right now she feels a little bit harried, and that's okay. I'm not surprised about that. She also feels a little bit emotional. That happens after we give birth as well. I think on Saturday, the baby will be 2 weeks old. So it's about a week and a half right now. It's very, very early on. The baby's cry is supposed to be ear splitting and it's supposed to be kind of life shattering, because that is what is supposed to spontaneously draw us to our babies. We do typically have a sense of nurturing and motherhood when babies are born, but the scream is actually engineered so that we can get to them, so that we are alarmed. It's just like smoke alarms, things like that. They're really annoying because they're supposed to be alarming. So baby cries are supposed to be alarming. A lot of people don't realize that when they have their first kid and they go, what is this caterwauling? So that I do think there's some sleeplessness going on. And I think she's having trouble regulating her spirituality in all of this, which makes sense. If we're tired, if we're depleted, if we're not eating properly, if we are, closing our eyes and then being woken up right away, that will have an effect. Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry. I'm tired. Have an effect on our energy resources. So, that in turn will have an effect on our ability to reach and obtain the energetic information that we need. We can't get those energetic status reports, so to speak. So, easy fix for this. Call in for help when you need it. That is the Eight of Swords, or the Eight of Wands, and the Knight of Swords. Call for help when it's needed. Really, it's something that you can do, especially someone in her position. She's got her mother, she's got her father, for whatever it's worth. I don't know if her husband's has any family that lives nearby, but for the most part, he is part of a noble family. I don't know if it's actually a royal family, Eduardo. I don't know if he has any family that's local to them, but certainly I am sure Sarah Ferguson is happy to get in there and get her hands on that grandbaby. So, let's see what her 2025 is generally going to be like. Queen of Wands, she's not going to be working. 10 of Pentacles, she doesn't like that. And it's not really filling the coffers. The Sun, it is going to be a good time. And it's really taking all the cloudy days away from her. So I do think that this is a good year, though it is not a productive year for her. It doesn't seem like she will be going out and doing things. She's really going to be staying at home and taking care of the kids, of course, with support. And sometimes if you are a worker bee, that can be a little bit disconcerting. It was for me when I had my second child, because I had my own business. It was a very physical business. I trained dogs prior to having my children. I had my own dog training business, and it was basically an 80-hour week. It was just, I was constantly working. I was living, breathing, and stinking of dogs. So, but it was great work. It was great work. And when I was told I couldn't work anymore because I was having contractions, I was about 4 months along, almost into my 5th month. I kind of went into vapor lock. I didn't know what to do with myself. So basically what I did was I treated my house and my children like it was my schedule at the kennel, and just regimented everything. And I ran a pretty tight ship for a little while. And then I eventually went back to work. So, and that's when I entered insurance. So, for her, I do think that there are both enjoyable parts and not so enjoyable parts to this. And my advice to Beatrice is to find the enjoyable parts. If you don't enjoy sitting on the floor and playing blocks, go out on the lawn and play tag or blow bubbles or chase after the dogs, or go feed the ducks, whatever it may be. If tennis and golf aren't your thing, try trampolines. You have to find the things that are fun for you. And even though your kids are inclined to do certain things, they will come along when they see you're doing something that's really fun. So we lived at the beach, and my kids, I would get them up super, super early to go to the beach, like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. And a lot of kids would not be cool with that. We tried to have friends, join us, and they couldn't get the kids out of the house before 10 o'clock. But my kids, the minute they opened their eyes, I said, come on, we're going, let's go. And that's something that I really loved. I did that all through college. I would go surfing, I would skateboard down to the beach, and just have a blast. So my kids got more in tune with that. So let's look at this. So basically, I think 2025, she's going to be sitting back, not really working. And I think it will be difficult for her, but if she plans it out, she will do better. Life as a working royal or a non-working royal. What is going to happen with this gal? I still think of her as a young gal. I still think of her as a kid. And I thought her fascinator was great at William and Catherine's wedding. So I thought both of hers and her sisters were great. So this is working royal, non-working royal. So are they going to bring her back into the working royal fold? This is non-working, not working. Oh, whoops, not working. Cheater. So let's look at the non-working. So Knight of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, and Six of Wands. If she does go the route where she is doing other things to make money and to feel fulfilled and successful, yes, this will work very well. Do they want her back as a working royal? Six of Cups, Five of Cups, and the Two of Wands. I think they do want her back as a working royal, but I don't think that she'll do it. I think there is a lot of freedom for her not having her day planned out, not having her appearances mapped out. I think she has much more fulfillment doing something like this. Does that mean that she's after the almighty dollar? No, not necessarily. I do feel that she becomes a big fish in a small pond if she works for an entity or an organization. And in that case, you kind of get to rise. You're the royal in a room full of non-royals, which is always preferable. Like you want to be the genius in the room, in a room full of dullards. So, oh my, I'm drinking tea, guys. I don't know why I'm yawning. So I think she will opt to continue being a non-royal working person. She will work, but she's not going to work in a royal capacity. They're not going to bring her back to that. How is her loyalty to the king? King Charles III. Oh. Oh my. Not so good. King of Swords in reverse, the Two of Swords, and then we have the Five of Swords. There's too much going on in this family. Why? Page of Wands. She just wants to go forth and have a regular life. She doesn't want all the trappings of being a royal. And I do think that there are some discussions that she has with her father about not being so uppity. Can I say uppity? Not being so snobbish and just living as a normal person does. Now, is their normal person living the same as ours? No, I don't think they worry about how to pay their electric or their cell phone bill. But I do think that the expectation of not having individuals escorting us from place to place, or snapping our fingers and we have a servant at the ready. I really do get the sense that Beatrice, likely has a housekeeper of sorts, and likely has someone to come in and cook when she is entertaining. But I don't think that she does that on a regular basis. Sorry, kids. I apologize if I'm making anybody yawn. I think that she would rather, nobody wants to clean their house. Let's face it. It's so much easier if you have a team come in and clean everything from top to bottom. But I do think that normal life speaks to her. And part of that is the loyalty to the king can be more lip service, like, yeah, sure, I'm loyal to the king, just like your heart beats and your lungs breathe every day. Sure, I'm loyal to the king. God save the king. I think she is fine with that. She doesn't wish ill will or change to the line of succession or anything like that. I think she just craves a normal life, not in constant action of service or um, service to the king, subjugation to the king. So, how about to the Prince of Wales? What is her loyalty to the Prince of Wales? Because he's coming up next. Eight of Cups, not walking away from that. The Three of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune. I do think that she is fond of William, but the problem is this. She does want to see him ascend to the throne, but she wants to see it a while from now. There's something about her father's mortality that's wrapped up in King Charles's mortality. Obviously, they're brothers, but there is this sadness about her father never being restored to his proper position. That lives and dies with King Charles's reign. Her father is not going to ever be returned to the position that he once held. His reputation will never be restored to what it once was, and he will never be included in any of the events as a royal would be, which is hard to see because the Princess Royal is so heavily involved in events with the royal family, as is Edward, the Duke of Edinburgh, who's his younger brother. So one can understand that there is some bitterness there. And I do think that there is a little bit of sour grapes here. I don't know if sour grapes is the right thing to say, but disappointment that the Andrews situation really closed a door on all of the Yorks. Really did make it very difficult for them to do much. Now she married well. She married well and has a lovely family so far. So what is our yellow brick road for her? What is the yellow brick road to her ultimate happiness for this year? Let's see what her yellow brick road is. So this is a little bit sad, guys. So we know that King Charles has talked much about a slimmed down royal family. This is one of the casualties of his slimmed down royal family. Beatrice is one of those that's being sacrificed. And when you are raised as a princess, when you are conditioned to being treated like a princess, when you're not treated like a princess anymore, when the castle gates are closed to you and you don't have the luxury of running in there and going to see your grandmother or your grandfather or whomever, it's a very sad moment. The castle keep is closing up ranks, and there is going to be difficulty going back into rooms in which she used to go, going to places where she used to take tea with her grandmother. And the challenge is now, as she's in this cocoon of motherhood, The challenge is to decide what her world looks like and what her world will be. I do think that her world will be lovely. It will be of a higher class of living, a higher caliber of living. It will be a beautiful home with beautiful gardens. It will not be a royal residence, but it will be a private residence. This is the life that Harry and Meghan actually would have been very happy in. And I think Beatrice is going to execute the dream very nicely. She is positioned to do it financially. She is emotionally positioned to do it, but it's almost like she's missing out while she's in this cocoon of motherhood. She's kind of missing out on those last few events, those last few galas that she could go to. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that she did attend the wedding of the wedding in Jordan. I know the royal wedding in Jordan. And I know that she's been dispatched to a number of royal events, but I think that those will be far fewer, far fewer tiaras. Every now and then, yes, there's going to be tiara on her head. She's going to be at a state dinner, but they're going to get fewer and fewer. They're just not going to be as much of a family. And this happens in a lot of families, happened in my own when my cousins started having, there's 5 cousins that were born in the 70s. And then there was 5 cousins that were born in the late 80s. And when those cousins that were born in the late 80s now are starting to have their own families, are starting to branch out, and it's just too many people. And so everyone's going to different homes. So instead of going to my parents' house for Christmas and we have, 35, 40 people there, if we had everybody like 85 people with children. So everybody's starting to pair off and go to their own, branch of the family. And it's very sad when you realize that. This is something that's happening in the royal family with um, the added tailoring of King Charles III, where he is paring down that royal family. So I do think that Beatrice is not holding any grudges. She's not annoyed about this. She's not stamping her feet and saying, well, I deserve better. She's not doing any of those things. She will tend to her family, and then she will set up house and move forward with a plan that will involve her family alone and the resources that they have, which again is, I don't want to talk about Harry and Meghan too much, but that's very different from what Harry and Meghan did. They wanted to set up their own house, but at someone else's expense, the king specifically. So I do think that she'll be doing this, but there will be a little bit of sadness not going to Balmoral for Christmas. I think the Balmoral tradition continues, or is it Sandringham? That I think they go to Balmoral in the summer and they go to Sandringham for Christmas. So I just think that some of those things will be changing. Again, the state dinners are going to be fewer and fewer, much less. But I do think that she will have a wonderful life with her children and with her husband. And I see good things for her. I think that she's a good egg in the royal family. A lot of people have asked me, is Beatrice, shifty? Is she, talking with Harry and Meghan? Is she, cutting deals behind the scene? And I don't think that she is. I think she is very content to live a high life, high level of living. Of their own doing. Let's put it that way. So, like I said, her husband is a good provider. He comes from a royal family himself. And I think that their terrific family is going to thrive. And my camera just died. So I'm going to end this video. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day, guys.